in YouTube can also be focused on the presentation. Thank you. Okay, so I hope everyone can see the slide. The introduction to iTa'LeEM. Can I get some feedback? Can you see the slide clearly?
Yes, Mira. Yes.
All right, good. So again, let me just stop the video on my end just to ensure the bandwidth is stable, at least during my presentation. Okay. All right, so let me just go through some introductions to iTa'LeEM. I know some of you have used iTa'LeEM for quite some times, but just want to refresh what iTa'LeEM has. Some of you, this would be the first time you've seen iTa'LeEM, but nevertheless, everybody have access to the system. So I'm very sure if you want to go through the activities that I have today, you won't have any problem, inshallah. So iTa'LeEM basically is our iTa'LeEM, the official iTa'LeEM learning management system. Okay, so it currently hosted internally within iTa'LeEM IT infrastructure. It is Moodle-based learning management system. Okay, and actually we are taking data from enrollment in student information system. So I know sometimes there are some inquiries from the staff that my students have just enrolled, but it is not yet available in iTa'LeEM. So for your information, we actually have data fed from other systems. So if those data is not yet entered to the system, then we will not be able to capture that on iTa'LeEM. Usually we will synchronize the data every in the evening. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you notice at night sometimes the system is rather slow because we're actually updating the records. But then again, if you still could not find the details of the students that have claimed they have enrolled, then maybe they have to check with Ahmad or other office that would be able to enroll such record through the system. And also regarding the course allocation, recently I find out there's a few staff complain because there are new course allocations, but it's still not reflected in iTa'LeEM. Again, those course allocation needs to be formalized first in the system. Then only when we synchronize the data with HURI system or SIS system, that should be reflected in iTa'LeEM as well. Okay. This is the early semester routine in iTa'LeEM. Okay, so we have enrollment and course allocation data that comes from multiple systems, as I mentioned earlier. So we will import the data to iTa'LeEM, and again, we have regular update every night. So if the students have enrolled this morning, the earliest the system can capture would be the following morning. Otherwise, the lecturer can actually add the students manually to the system. So when the data synchronize, it will just be updating the activities throughout of the students in that particular day. Okay, so we can actually enroll the students manually to the iTa'LeEM, although the record in SIS, for example, is not yet entered or formalized. Okay. And this is another most of the questions that comes into our center is that what is the cost structure? So this is the cost structure that we have in iTa'LeEM. Okay. So if someone have a teaching 3 section, okay, and you have the same courses and you're co-teaching with some other lecturers, for example, the other lecturer is teaching 2 courses, 2 sections, sorry. So there is a main or master course actually in iTa'LeEM. Usually this master course will be hidden, okay. It is there, so that's why you would be able to see there are some courses that actually italics, okay. So that's actually the course that is currently hidden from the students, but it is there. So in that course, in that main or master course, both lecturers are there and all of the students are there and kept as group. Okay, so each section will be, so for example, if there's section 1, section 2, section 3, so it will be recorded as group 1, group 2, group 3 in iTa'LeEM in the course, in the main course. Okay. Some basic features of iTa'LeEM, it is an online platform to distribute course materials. Okay, so there are course notes, readings. It facilitates 14 different activities to be carried out. For example, a quiz, assignments, chat forum. It also allows multimedia. So for example, if you have video, audio, images, or some videos in YouTube, for example, you can do embedding, media embedding. Okay. If any of this not clear, feel free to just stop me, okay? Just in case I miss some important points that you're actually looking for in the session. As what I have mentioned earlier, as in the title, that this is an alternative for low bandwidth. So why iTa'LeEM is suitable for low bandwidth teaching? First, I think I have to highlight the challenge to online learning. We are challenged by two at least. There's one educators in DePaul University, I think, if I'm mistaken. His name is Daniel Stanford. He actually written a very nice blog on why there are some video conferencing alternatives for the low bandwidth teaching. Okay, so in this case, as all of us, as an educator, we actually challenge in online teaching, we actually challenged by bandwidth and immediacy. So bandwidth, high bandwidth is suitable, is convenient for those students who have newer computers, fast and reliable internet access at home, and unlimited data plans, which based on the recent survey of ours, not all have this privilege. Whereas immediacy refers to how quickly we expect our students to respond when interacting with us and with each other. But keep in mind, the key advantage of online teaching is flexibility. So we need to really think about high bandwidth, low bandwidth, or and immediacy. Daniel Stanford put a very nice grid on how we identify and what kind of activities actually consider as high and low bandwidth. So in here, as you can see, the red zone is actually a high bandwidth with high immediacy. So video conferences, those actually that we have said earlier, like Google Meet, Zoom, WebEx, and all those kind of things is considered as high bandwidth, but you get high immediacy. It means that you can meet the students directly online. Whereas high bandwidth with low immediacy, we have pre-recorded video, asynchronous with discussion with video, pre-recorded audio. It is still considered as high bandwidth, but there are ways to actually reduce the bandwidth for this kind of materials. For high immediacy but low bandwidth, we have collaborative documents. We have group chat messaging, so it means that you can interact with the students, but it is only through text. Okay, so these are some of the alternatives. For low bandwidth, low immediacy, we have discussion boards like Padlets. In our e-learning guidelines that we're preparing to be launched tomorrow, Dr. Jan from KOE actually have written a good sections on that, on some of the samples of each of this grid. Okay, so maybe that's something that you can also refer to. Again, back to the main questions, why iTa'LeEM suitable for low bandwidth teaching? So for low bandwidth teaching, iTa'LeEM provides all these facilities. So we do have assignments, we have chat, we have forums, okay? And recently, I have just added H5P, the interactive content. So for everyone to actually explore and utilize, this is a very nice tools. Dr. Feham will cover this later on. We also have quiz, okay? So basically, this is the platforms that allow you to have the high bandwidth, low immediacy, and low bandwidth, low immediacy, as well as high immediacy. Okay, so these are some of the ways we can actually, this is why there is one of the reason why we actually promote iTa'LeEM, especially for those who are new to online learning. Before I get to the environment, another thing that I want to highlight, why do I recommend this for those who are new to online learning, is that we can actually give you the remote support. What I mean by remote support is that just in case, when you are using iTa'LeEM, suddenly you realize you have just removed a students from the enrollment, and you want to have all those students that you have just removed to be revert back, to be imported back to the system. We do have that access. Okay, so we have access to your course, we have access to the student's record. So in that case, it's easier for us to assist. Another thing is that I, I think mid last year, one of the staff actually contacted me, and the person was very upset. Okay, very very upset. Uh, Complain that the teaching materials that the person put on the platform is missing, uh, and ask why do I still keep iTa'LeEM if I know that iTa'LeEM will do this again after the last crash in December 2018. And I said, let me check your account, let me look at the logs, and apparently the person put the materials on the wrong sections, not the sections that the person referring to. Okay, so this is one of the way we can actually assist, just in case you forgot that you actually put on different course. We can actually move that materials to the course that you actually aim to put in. Okay. Okay, so this is some of the slides for me to introduce the platform. Is there any questions before I proceed? Feel free to stop me. Okay, so if there's any questions, I think I prefer interactive session. So feel free to unmute your microphone, and then because I may not be able to check the chat now, so feel free to just unmute your microphone and then just ask directly, please.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Mira.
Salam.
I'm Maizura from COM.
Yes,
Okay.
sister. Yes,
Yeah,
doctor.
our system is a block system, and we registered 23 lecturers in a single course. Okay, so
Yep.
if you want to edit the iTa'LeEM, we will turn on the editing button, right? So what happens is if the rest, let's say the other 5 also wanted to edit at the same time, what will happen? Say I'm the first person who turn editing on, and then there are other 4 lecturers who wants to turn editing on. What will happen to me, and what happens to the other 4 lecturers?
Okay, all right, thank you. Because we are actually allow concurrent users. Okay, so for those lecturers who are actually accessing the same course on the same time, we allow that, and then the logs will actually record on millisecond basis. So if you are trying to add, and on the same time the person is trying to delete the materials, whichever request comes in first. So if your request comes in first, recorded first in the log, so those materials will be edited first, and then only the person can delete. So it is okay. Okay, so just make sure if you are trying to add or remove with some teaching materials in the course, just make sure you communicate with your co-teacher co-teacher. So in this case, just in case you are removing something that he wants to edit, so he knows that the materials has been removed. But it doesn't matter. So all of you can actually work on the same course on the same time. It's just that for the materials, the particular materials that you want to edit, if the person is trying to remove, that whichever request comes first, then that will be validated first. Does it answer your questions?
Yes, Dr. Mira. In that sense, is there any limits per course for how many persons can turn editing on at the same time? Is there any limit, Dr. Mira?
No, there's no limit. Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you.
everybody can basically, yeah. everybody can basically turn on editing on the same time. Okay.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Mira.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, Prof.
I would like to ask about, I have two sections, same subject in the iTa'LeEM. How to combine, is to go through one by one. It's very time consuming. Is it possible to combine them, the two sections, same subject?
Two sections, same subject. As I highlighted earlier, by default, that course is actually there. Let me just go through, I will show you where those courses that actually you are referring to. There's no need to combine. You just need to make sure that the right course is visible for the students to view. Okay, so I will show you in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Is there any other questions on the slides that I showed you earlier? Nope. Okay, so let me proceed to the environment then, the iTa'LeEM environment.
Wait. Assalamualaikum, sorry.
Waalaikumsalam.
May I look at the slides again? I think I
Sure.
missed something for note taking during the, I don't know, one or two first few slides, I think.
Okay. Uh, this one, right?
Yeah. Can we look at a few? Which one was it? Yeah. Wait. No. This is what number? Can we look at the next one?
Is it
I'm not
about
sure
the
which one
bandwidth?
anymore. Is it the bandwidth? Again, no, not this one. I think maybe the first few, 1, 2, 3 or something. This one.
May I know what the question is about?
No, there was something that I thought I need to take notes on, and then you went off quickly, and I forgot already because we went through all this other. Never mind. It's okay.
Yeah. All right, don't worry. I will
Yeah.
share the slides. So just in case you miss any point, I will share the slide inshallah.
Okay.
So all the sessions that we have from the first day, if the speakers have any slides, I will put that in the CPD website. Okay, so everyone can basically, everyone can basically share and then refer back to the slides. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so let me share the iTa'LeEM. Okay, so this is our environment. Mine probably a little bit different to yours because I have customized a bit. Just want to make sure that I'm still in the session. Okay. Okay, so just in case it is different, don't worry. So one of the things that is with iTa'LeEM or Moodle-based environment is that you can actually customize the page. I know some of the colleagues have customized it because they don't really prefer to see all these blocks. So this is considered as block. Okay, so each and every of this is called block. So you can actually remove this block if you don't feel comfortable seeing so many things in your screen. Okay, in my case, I have a lot of things. The online users, the calendar. Okay, you can move it wherever you want. Okay, so you can actually customize the dashboard, whichever you feel comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable seeing all these details, you can click on the setting. Okay, this button, and then you can delete the upcoming events block. Okay, so or delete any blocks that you don't feel necessary to be displayed in your main screen. Okay, in my case, I really need all of this because I have to monitor how many users, I have to monitor the activities that I have. Okay, so this is some of the things that you can do. It is customizable. Just remove whichever blocks that you don't feel you need it for now. Just in case in the future you want to see that block again, you can, sorry, let me just scroll down a bit. Okay. Just in case you want to have that block again, whichever that you have deleted, you can add that block in the future. So don't worry, okay? So remove whichever you feel it's not necessary, and then you can add that later. Okay, so that's with the dashboard. Waalaikumsalam. Yep.
Mira, for online users, for example, the bot for online users is not necessary for us to have this view, right?
No. Yeah. In fact, I think most of our colleagues have removed the block from the dashboard. I don't feel that's necessary. In my case, I need that because I have to check, I have to monitor the usage of iTa'LeEM. Okay.
Doctor, how to create the attendance, the attendance that you have in your page?
Okay, I will show that later as well. So I have two questions that I have to answer on for you. The sections and then the attendance. In fact, I've already put that attendance video in CPD website just in case you miss my steps later on. Okay.
Dr. Mira. Assalamualaikum.
Yes. Waalaikumsalam.
What does it mean private files? Private.
For which one?
Private files.
Oh, private
What is it
files.
for? Yeah, private files.
Right. Private files is whatever files you have on. So you can actually make this platform as the cloud storage. So for example, you have slides, you have materials that you are not going to put it on your course first, or you will put it on your course later. You can upload it here. Okay, and then you can refer to any course later on. So it's just like a cloud storage. You are putting the files in iTa'LeEM, but not necessarily have to be the one that you're going to use in the course.
So just like a folder lah. I mean like that.
Yeah,
But,
just a folder, just a file. Yes. Okay. Is Dr. Feham around? Dr. Feham, are you with me here?
Yeah, Dr. Mira, I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Dr. Feham, do you want to, if you feel that there are something important that I missed, feel free to stop me, okay?
No, so far so good.
Dr. Feham is my sifu in iTa'LeEM, so I and a tough customer. Okay, all right, thanks, thank you. Okay, so this is the system, how the system looks on the main page on the dashboard. Don't worry if you don't have this, because I'm the admin. I'm currently the admin for iTa'LeEM, so I have this additional administration tab. But in your case, don't worry, you don't have to try to find this. I'm very sure in most of your account you don't have this, except currently the only admin account that have to iTa'LeEM is just me and Brother Izzat, which is my staff in e-learning unit. Okay. All right, so let's proceed to the course. Okay, so every semester you'll be given sets of course which have already been assigned to you. So for example here, these are the courses that I have and the courses that I have created. Okay, let me just go to one of the course because I have to show you where currently I'm not teaching any multiple section course. Let me show you in one of my course that I taught in 2018. Okay, so this in 2018, I'm teaching one course which I co-teach with Dr. Shima. The course name is Info 2103. So in this semester, I have 3 sections, okay? So as you can see here, I have 3 sections and I have 1 master course. In this master course, I have all of my students as well as Dr. Shima's students. Okay, I can show in the participants tab. So I have we have 2 instructors and the rest are the students, which comes from multiple sections. If you have a look in users, in groups. Okay, so we have 5 groups. Okay, so we have 5 groups. Mine is 3 sections, section 1 to 3, and Dr. Shima has section 4 and 5. Okay, so this is in the master course. So on that time, we decided that we're going to use the main course, the master course, to distribute the materials. So in this case, if you want to make sure that this is the one that the students going to refer, you just have to make sure you go to the course setting. So you click on the course, which is in this case, this is the master course. Okay, it doesn't have any sections on it. And then if it's iTa'LeEM, if the course is iTa'LeEM, mean it is currently hidden from the students. So you proceed to the settings, edit settings, okay, in the administration link, and then show, and then click on show. Okay, so in this case, the students will not be able to see any other course that you have, any other section course. They will not be able to see this section course. They will only see the course that you have enabled, show enabled. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is for the multiple sections. Dr. Shuhaimi, does it answer your questions?
It is not, doctor, not the master course, but for example, like in your case, you have 3 section and a lecturer 2 section. So we already given the flexibility to individual lecturer to decide the what called the material. It's not at the master course level. So for example,
At the individual course.
yeah, for example, like you have 3 section. For example, I have 2 section of the 5. I just wanted to combine my section 1 and 2 only.
Oh, okay. So, for example, you just want to combine whichever sections to you, but not on the master sections, is it? Not on
Yes,
the master
yes,
course.
yes.
Yep, yep. So they can be done. The automated course structure that currently built is actually for master and sections. But if you have specific requests that you want to have only your course or only your sections is combined, yeah, you can put the request. You can just email me or Brother Izzat. We can do that from the system directly. So we will go to your account and then we just combine this using the admin privilege.
Okay, I will request, inshallah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
doctor.
right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And also for, okay, so when you have the materials. Waalaikumsalam. Yes.
I'm Julian from CAED. Could you please repeat
Yes,
the
doctor.
steps? Could you please repeat the steps just now on the master course to
Okay.
combine all?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. So when you are in the beginning of the semester, as I highlighted earlier, you have the section course. So this is the section course, and you have the master course. So the master course is the course that we create in iTa'LeEM, which combine all of the sections. So if the course have 5 sections and you are co-teaching with other lecturers, so all of that sections will be included in the master course. So in this case, as I highlighted earlier, this course is actually the course that combines all 5 sections into one single course. So if you usually in the beginning of the semester, this will be hidden. Okay, what is visible is the section course. So you will have all of these section course shown, but not the master course. If you decided to use the section course instead of the master course, you just click to whichever course that you want to use, and then click on the course. Just go down a bit into the administration, edit settings, and then course visibility show. Okay, so by having this, the students will be able to see the section course. Okay, so I hope you have either one, not both, because sometimes it's quite confusing for the students to have both master course and section course actually enabled. So maybe you should decide with your colleagues to pick which one that you want to use. Is it the section course or the master course? Does it answer your questions, Doctor?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's for the course. Another one is on the activity. So this is the arrangement that I usually have. I know some staff actually prefer different way, but it doesn't really matter which approach that you want to use. I myself actually go in the directions of the course outline. So it actually arranged according to the course outline structure. So this is the first topic in the course outline. This is the second topic in the course outline, and so on and so forth. So this is how I arranged it, but not necessarily it has to be this way. You probably would know better which way to arrange it. But most of the materials that I would want my students to refer the most, usually I will put in the general area. So this in the general area will be announcement, attendance, and so on and so forth. So in this case, basically you can customize your own content. And how do we add those items? So basically you can just turn editing on. Okay, so in add an activity, there are a series of activities here that we have added in. Okay, recently, as I highlighted earlier, we have added H5P. In 2018, we don't have that yet, so you won't be able to see it now. But if you log into 2019, you would have that H5P plugin. So to have the attendance, you click on the attendance. Okay, click add. Okay, so you can keep the attendance name or you can change, it's up to you. You can customize whatever you have here. If you want to have specific grades that you want to assign to attendance, by all means, you can customize whichever items that you have here. Okay, so you have an options to hide from the students or you want to show to the students. I myself usually will show to my students so they can check whether I have marked the attendance properly, because usually I will call each and every of them in class. Yeah, so basically those are some of the important items. Okay, so save and return to course. So this will generate the attendance. Okay, so this is what I have added just now. Okay, I'm not sure whether you notice. Okay, so this is not the one, yeah, this is the original one. So this is what I have created just now. Okay, so by default now you have the attendance, but you don't have session. Okay, to have session, you just have to click on the add session. Okay, click on the add session, and then you have to put in the schedule for your class. So for example, the class starting from today, and then usually it is from 8:30 a.m. to 9:50, for example. Okay. do you want your students to allow to record their own attendance? I usually will not take that. I will call my students one by one. Not sure whether it's practical if you have 150 students, but my course usually about 40 to 50. So I still found it practical. In fact, by third week, I usually don't call them anymore because I know everybody's name. So I can skip this process, basically just scan through all the faces. And if you want to have this repeated for example, today is Thursday. So every Tuesday and Thursday, okay, so say you want to have this every Tuesday and Thursday, you want to repeat every week and repeat until, say, I want to have it until August 7th, then this will automatically generate sessions for every week that you have here. Okay, so as you can see, it generates a session for every sessions that you have specified earlier. So 7th May today, 8:30 to 9:50 a.m. So when you want to call the students, basically just click the play button here and then go through the list of your students. Okay, there you go. So that's how we add the attendance. Okay, and if you have finished, just make sure you save. Okay, it's a very long list. Okay, so save the attendance, then you will be able to see who has been attending the class, who has not been attending the class. You can actually generate the report. Okay, and this is usually what I submitted to department for the reference. So it will generate which session they actually missed, which session they actually, so it will give this present, late, excused, and absent, generates the percentage. Okay, so I can use this just even during the audit session, I use this as an evidence. Okay. All right. So the attendance. Okay. So this is.
Mira, can I ask you a question, please?
Sure.
Is there any way that the iTa'LeEM system can capture the moment the student opens the iTa'LeEM page that the attendance is captured?
Do you mean automatically captured?
Yes.
No, we don't have. We don't have that yet. Yeah, it doesn't allow automatically captured because this is considered as an activity. So there's no activity, no automated activity captured. As far as I know, I'm not sure whether in the new Moodle they have such facility, but I have gone through the Moodle community. Seems none such facilities available so far. The only two options is you want to check the attendance by yourself, or you allow the students to take the attendance for by themselves.
So there is an option that they can take it themselves?
Yeah. As I showed you earlier. So, oops. Okay. Okay, let me just go back to the session. Oh. Okay, so you can change that in the settings that you can actually allow the students to take the attendance by themselves. There's a button.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this is the button, yeah. Oh, sorry, in the session, when you generate the session just now, sorry. Yeah, when you generate the session just now, there's a button for whether they can take the session by themselves. Okay.
Dr. Mira?
Yes, Dr. Intan.
All right. Let's say students record their own attendance. I can set the time limit, right?
The time limit for the attendance, you mean?
Yeah, for the recording.
As far as it doesn't have time limit, but you can set the student password. Say you so for today's password, so this is for example, okay, so for this particular day, I want to allow them to set their own attendance, they record their own attendance, and then you can just mention for today password is 235, for example. So only those that actually have this password, they can put their own, they can record their own attendance. Okay, or you can also record the attendance from, you provide one machine at the front and they can, I mean, I'm not sure which one is practical, but these are the options that is available.
Can I set there at the time?
Not at,
At the time.
not the time specific, yeah.
You know, there's the time there. Can I set that limit for the recording of attendance?
This is actually meant for the class time, but if
Oh,
you
okay.
feel that, yeah, this is actually the class time, not the attendance time. This is the class time. But if
Okay.
you feel that you want to make this as the time of the recording the attendance, I have to explore this further. As far as I know, this is not the time for the attendance, but I think you can
Oh, okay.
try. Because I seldom allow my students to record their own attendance.
Oh, I need to because I have so many students.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I
Okay,
have a
sure,
lot.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Doctor, you mentioned just now, like the remarks of absent with excuse, etc. How actually you record that in this iTa'LeEM, the excuse and the MC and so forth?
Okay, so it is actually here. Let me just, it's a bit, okay, let me just, sorry, yeah, if I have to scroll up, scroll down. So this is the, when you call the students, then when you call the attendance, so if they're present, it's P, you can just click this. If they're late, so you can click that. If they are excused and they're absent, so it will accumulate by the end of the semester. We know. So because this, I'm using this not only on the online but also on face-to-face. Okay, so for face-to-face, usually, as I said earlier, I go through the class name list and then I just check whether they are actually present or they are late or they are excused or they're actually absent. But for online activities, usually I have make sure the time limit. So for example, if I've given 2 days for them to finish an activity, if they finish on time, then I will click on as present. Otherwise, if they're submitting late, then I will put it as late. Usually for online activities, I don't see anyone absent so far. It's just that many of them, they submit later than the due date. Okay. Does it answer your questions, Doctor?
I mean the record, for example, the MC, the excuse letter that they gave, how to record here in iTa'LeEM?
I keep it as a separate files. You can actually upload that if you want.
So
But
we cannot
usually I will
do attachment here.
not
do the
in
attachment
the
here.
not in the attendance per se, but you can put in your private files. There are private files, as I highlighted earlier, right? The folders like a cloud storage. You can put it there if you want. Okay. All right.
Hello, Dr. Mira. A very quick
Yes.
question. All right.
Sure.
This is me, Latif from Kuliah of Science.
Yes, Dr. Latif.
Yes, I would like to ask, what if for asynchronous session, so can we get attendance for that as well?
For asynchronous
session.
Okay. For asynchronous sessions, means like these activities, this is all considered as asynchronous.
I mean, the attendance. So we consider the activities with the student will be the attendance for them?
Yeah. This is an example. Okay, so usually I'm very strict here. Like for example, for them, actually in these activities, I put video lectures which I refer to. The actual video is in Edpuzzle. So I have asked them to make sure you register to Edpuzzle with metric number. Any account without metric number will be considered as missing the attendance. Okay, so they have to make sure I can identify the account, and then only I can consider as an attendance.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mira.
Thank you. All right. So basically, as I said earlier, these are how we can arrange. Okay, Dr. Feham has a different approach to mine, and I can see he has used a lot of learning path. Is that correct, Dr. Feham? So I myself prefer I put everything first, and then usually I will I will hide the sections that I don't want them to see. So I would focus at one thing at a time, and then highlight which sections that is currently I want them to focus. Okay, so this is how I usually have during the blended learning. But now since it will not be blended in my case, so I will allow them to explore whichever topic that they want to explore, because some of them they probably have mastered on certain topics. So I want them to start from whichever topic and finish uh, whichever activities that they prefer to finish first. Okay. Yeah, I think those are the basics. I'm not sure whether there's any other topics that I can cover. So just feel free to jump in, okay? Just in case I have missed anything. But basically, if you want to put the file, basically if you want to put the file, you can click on activities and then you proceed to file, okay? Or if you want to have a link, you can put URL, okay? So let me just show with one file. Okay, so for example, this is the lecture notes. Okay, so you can pick the file from the private files, or you can pick the files from your computers. Okay, so this is the files that I uploaded just now. Okay. All right, so I think that would be all from my side. I will add later on just in case I. Yes, doctor.
Dr. Mira, how do you create that boxes of managing constraints, basic select statements, single row functions? How do you create that? Is it using add block?
This is the one.
Because I think all those boxes are your topics.
Right. So this is the one. I'm not sure whether you can see it. Yep. Add topics.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that add topics is.
So by default,
topics
when you
is
start a session.
Okay.
So by default, when you start a course in iTa'LeEM, you will get 4 topics. But that's the default settings. But if you feel you want to arrange by topic, so you can add, for example, I want to add one more topics, add topics, okay? And then you can customize this, for example, for advanced topic.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, thank you. So this is the advanced topic, for example, and then you can move to whichever topics that you want this box to appear. So for example, I want to have it right before the exception handling, so I can have it here.
Assalamualaikum. I would like to ask
Waalaikumsalam.
On the quiz and then the assignment. For example, in my course in Salpad, we ask students to memorize and then submit the memorization. Is there any link or possibilities by using this iTa'LeEM, we can assign them to record the memorization video and then put it here?
Yeah. So if you want to have those files submitted, don't use quiz, use assignment instead. Okay, so I think if you require them to submit anything like files or link, maybe it's a good idea to use assignment instead. So this allows students to submit something from their end. So they can have files submitted, they can have pictures submitted, or they can have something submitted directly here, or you can actually limit the number of files. You can actually, for example, only one file submitted. Okay, so it can be online text or it can be file submission. Okay, online text means that you provide it will generate a box, then they have to put in the answer directly on that box. Whereas for file submission, it will give them a link where they can upload the files, and then upload and then submit the submission. At the moment, we actually limit the file size to 10 megabyte. Dr. Feham have requested to add the file size a little bit bigger for his class, so we can customize should that such need arise. But at the moment, we cap at this. If you feel that this is not enough, the highest we can add probably about 20 to 30 megabyte, but I don't think we can allow 1 gigabyte file to be uploaded to iTa'LeEM. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry, because otherwise the system might crash if we allow such huge files to be submitted by 100 students, for example. Okay.
Another question. Actually, in my course in Selpat, we student need to memorize for the whole one juz, the first juz of Al Quran, and then we make it per session. For example, each session they need to submit 2 pages of the Holy Quran. Is there any possibility we can use any function in iTa'LeEM to do so?
The record. So you want the recorded sessions to be uploaded, right?
Yes.
Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
Yeah. If that recorded session, the file size is bigger than 30 megabyte, for example, I would encourage them to upload to Google Drive, and then you provide the submission link, and then, sorry, you allow the students to submit, but submit the link instead of the file itself to iTa'LeEM.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one of the approach.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Doctor?
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Morni, Assalamu alaikum. I have 2 queries.
Sure.
Number one, now that we can actually use voiceover over our lectures, the PowerPoints, can we upload them onto iTa'LeEM system?
Sorry, the
PowerPoint now we can use voiceover. Can we upload them? We can do that.
Yes.
It will not create extra pressure. Okay, so that's number one.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'd like to know, in our students have to make presentations. So now presentations is out of the question because no more face-to-face classes. Can I ask them to video their presentations, let's say a group, and submit them as video onto the iTa'LeEM system?
The presentation.
Yes.
I think it's not so much. Okay. I think it's not so much about whether it's presentations or assignments. My concern is more on the file size. If the file size is reasonable enough for our system to capture it, you can ask the students to upload the file directly to iTa'LeEM. But if you feel that well, I've been having such kind of assessment as well, in which I ask my students to present for their group project, and I ask them to upload to YouTube as unlisted files, and then submit the link in iTa'LeEM. Yeah.
So which one would you prefer?
Sorry?
Which one would you prefer?
I would suggest the second one, where the students upload to YouTube. And then, sorry, I prefer that one. Yeah, so I ask them to submit to YouTube, and then I have the record of where all those recordings are, because I still have the iTa'LeEM course here, but I'm not storing those files in iTa'LeEM.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mira, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Dr. Mira, since now there's no face-to-face, so exams will be online. Would you be covering or how to set a quiz here?
Yes, Prof. If such need arise, inshallah, I will. But for this session, basically, I want to go through the basic one. What I can share with you is that maybe I can share now is the references. We have one group of, we call it Educator 4.0, which basically volunteers from all of the kuliah. I'm very honored and very humbled to have this team of people who really have put forward their efforts and compose these materials for all of us. Let me just share the page. Can you see the page here, Prof? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, so I have compiled all those materials, and we will also launch the e-learning handbook guideline for tomorrow in the session with Tan Sri. So I have put all those materials here, and we will put that handbook as well here. Dr. Azlin and Dr. Sadri from KICT have actually arranged, create the recordings, and then they've put how to develop the quiz, and then what about if it's true false matching questions. If you missed the how to set up attendance, I've created the videos here. Dr. Feham has created a recording on managing assessment. So there are so many more. I haven't managed to put everything in, but there are so many resources that our team have actually created and ready to be shared, inshallah. And in fact, all these sessions since the first day is also available in CPD website. So just in case you miss any of the sessions, you can feel free to refer to these training videos.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you for those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you. All right.
Mira,
So, yes, doctor.
only one question. What is Mahara portfolio function?
Okay.
Because,
So
yeah,
Mahara portfolio functions is actually the to collect all the students' activity. It's like a portfolio of their activities online. At the moment, unfortunately, we have to turn it off. We have to shut down the plugin for a while because the backup issues. Okay. So as for now, I would suggest that we focus on some other activities except for the portfolio. That's why I've covered portfolio in the second sessions of e-learning clinic, is because of we want to make sure the Mahara portfolio is ready to be used before I officially launch and declare that this functions is available. Those are available currently in iTa'LeEM, but at the moment I cannot guarantee the backup yet because it's actually kept in different server. Okay, and just to share with you, I have actually, so soon iTa'LeEM will be revamped. Okay, so but because of the basic are the same, let me see whether I can get the how it might look like later. Okay, so because of Moodle is open source, so the development is very fast and everyone is contributing to Moodle platform. So let me just show you if anybody wants to test. This is not the final one. Currently, I'm actually exploring the platform. I'm installing it in my server. So this is how the new Moodle looks like. Okay, so it's a lot more cleaner in a way. And then we will customize a bit with the logos and whatnot, but this is how it looks like later on. So we have these tabs, the courses. This is how the courses looks like. A lot easier to manage, I think. So this is the
screen.
Editing one. Yes. Yes, doctor.
I only have a black screen. I cannot see what you are showing.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
Blank screen.
All right, thank you. All right, how about now? Is it clear now?
Yeah, I can see that now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So this is how the latest Moodle looks like. Okay, as I highlighted earlier, this is how the latest Moodle looks like. So you can see these tabs. Okay, so the dashboard would look like this. Okay, so it's a lot neater. And I think it's a lot easier to manage, okay, rather than having so many blocks as what we have just now. And if you want to turn editing on, you can click here. This is to turn editing on. And all the things, the activities and everything is basically the same. So if you've been seeing how I did attendance and all those kind of things, it will be the very same process that you will have to do it here. It's just that the look that we want to minimize, I think less is more. So I believe we can omit those some cluttered images or things like that, so you can focus on the content rather than seeing all those unnecessary blocks. Okay. So I think that would be from me. Thank you. Thank you so much for reminding about the screen. So
Dr. Mira, last time we used to see the statistic of blended learning, how much percentage, what that's for previously? Whether
okay,
you're 50%.
The blended learning, actually, we have to report that to ministry every semester. So let me just show you. In some of your course, probably you see it. In some of your, I have seen some of the course have not yet activate the blended
That
learning.
one, the red, the tick, the cross.
The blended learning, this one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, this is actually, we collect the data of this iTa'LeEM blended learning statistics, and we have to report to the ministry because at the moment the requirements is 70% of all programs is actually adopting the blended learning approach. Okay, so we just have to make sure it is 100%. Basically, the requirement is very simple. You have course outline, you have course content minimum 7, which I think most of you have more than 7. Activities at the moment, because it is week 5, so I haven't put a lot of activities, but the requirements is 3 activities and then assessment. Okay, so this at the end of the semester, we collect all these statistics and then we calculate how many actually have met that 100% following this one guideline, 1732 guidelines. Okay, if you do not see that blended learning statistics and you want to check whether you have met the blended learning, again, just turn editing on, add the blocks. Okay, so just add the block if it's not visible. Okay, and then there is, because I already have mine on, if you haven't seen it yet in your course, they will be blended here, and then you can just click blended, and then this part will show up. Okay, if you want to see, again, if you want to have a look how to actually make sure that the metric is actually properly checked, you can go to this video, how to use blended learning metric. Okay. All right, I think that will be all for the basic. Thank you. So that will be all from me. Dr. Feham, you want to add on the? Yes, Dr. Soraya, anything I can add?
Regarding your new interface for iTa'LeEM that you had just recently shown us, when will that migration take place?
Okay, so we are trying very hard. ITD and CPD currently working really hard to identify where would be the best place to migrate the system. I have tested the system. It looks okay. It complies with all of the plugins that we have now in the current system, and we will migrate to the new system. It's just that we have to identify the right platforms, the right cloud provider that can provide such service to us. Hopefully, if everything goes well, we can have by the end of when we resume on June. Worst case scenario, we might probably see it next semester.
My worry, Dr. Mira.
But we are working really hard to find ways to expedite the process.
My worry is I'm from Kuliah of Medicine, and our academic block or our academic calendar is not the same as the semester system. So if migration take place in the middle of our system or our academic calendar, will the migration take place automatically, or will whatever we have saved crash?
It will be automatically. So what I mean by migration is that you don't have to re-upload whatever you have put in the existing iTa'LeEM. So you should seamlessly log in, and then you should see your materials there. That's what we
Sure. Okay, brilliant. I have another question with regards to the tool.
migration. All right.
There is a tool there that says chat, and there's another one that says forum. What's the difference between the two tools, and what are the purpose of the tools?
For which one?
There's one that says chat, and there's another one that says forum. What is the usage of these two?
Okay.
And the yeah.
Okay, so chat basically it is, okay, so it is, as you can see in here, so chat activity enable participant to have a text based real-time synchronous. So it can be asynchronous. So for example, I want to have a session tomorrow. Everybody log into
We're losing you, Dr. Mira.
And then go to the chat. So there will be so sorry, I was disconnected. Everybody is still here? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so that's the purpose of forum, as I highlighted just now. I think I do have some example here. Have it last semester. So this is one of the example. Okay, we can use wiki. So wiki basically any of the students can actually respond. So I asked them to create a knowledge on circular economy. So everybody basically, as you can see here, they put in their thoughts or their references that they've read, and then they just put who actually contribute to this content. So this is one of the way. And forum, I do have that. I believe it's in the last week. Okay, so this is the example of forum. Okay, so I give them one video. I want them to watch the video, and then I want them to write what do they think about the videos that I have just shown. So as you can see here, each and every of my students posted what they thought from the videos, and if anybody would want to respond to that, they can click and then they can put their they can click and then they can put their response, the replies. Okay, so for example here, and then we can put the replies. Okay, so this is different from chat, obviously. Chat is much more real-time kind of conversations. Okay, so I hope that answered the questions. Okay, so I think it would be nice now to start with the H5P. Dr. Feham is already standby to cover the H5P. So Dr. Feham, do you mind if we can start with H5P?
Inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, just a little bit of info. iTa'LeEM has its own modules and activities integrated with a number of activities and modules. Just recently, a new module have been added, namely #5P. Is actually an element empower our iTa'LeEM. It's like adding into iTa'LeEM another element inside iTa'LeEM itself, because HP5 is actually consists of several elements, one single module, but entails under that module several other elements inside. So that's the way of how iTa'LeEM have been empowered by adding CPD, added #5P module inside iTa'LeEM. I believe that the rest of the previous modules, existing modules, have been explained by Dr. Mira briefly. For some, maybe not in details, but it's very straightforward. You can just add and then do the settings later on accordingly, and have the activity or maybe the resource element appear to our student or to the audience. So what is actually #5P? So #5P is actually consists of several modules inside one single module. As I mentioned earlier, it's like adding into iTa'LeEM a new LMS, though that is in the form of module. So with that, I just want to show you. I just log in iTa'LeEM, and then go to courses. Just go to any of your course. And once you want to add activity and resource, make sure you are on editing mode. Click add an activity resource. Then you scroll down, you will see that #5P listed as part of the activities inside iTa'LeEM. If you select #5P, then the information pertaining to #5P will appear. Okay. So done with that, just scroll a little bit upper here until I see the add button. Where is the add button? There you go. Okay, and then add. Okay, once added, if you observe the content of this module, #5P module, is actually consists of small sub modules inside. See, you can add interactive interactive video, you can add audio, you can add even quiz inside, you can add course presentation, you can add drag and drop, drag words, fill in the blanks, mark words. Those are actually when we are talking about iTa'LeEM, it's actually like a separate modules inside iTa'LeEM, but now we have all those modules in one package, in #5P package. So in order to, I wouldn't be able to show all of these modules to you. I want just to highlight the one that I have experienced, and it gives a little bit of like good experience to our students, where I will share interactive video. Interactive video is actually a module, a sub-module under #5P, where you can add video inside, and at the same time you can also on the top of that video you can add several interactive elements within the video. For instance, you want to add questions, you want to add interaction with your student while viewing the video. So this is the focus, whereas the rest, maybe I will show you some of the examples that I have experienced, the outcome from those sub modules. Say for example, I have here with me interactive video. You can just, if you want to know the details, you can click details, okay? Once you decided that you want to use interactive video, just click there, use. You will have all the options available, okay? This is for the guide button. You can, for the first time using this submodule, maybe you want to be guided by the assistant. So just go next until the end, and then you will understand briefly what is the functionalities of the interface available. Okay. If there is any just pop the questions or pop the message in the chat section, because I wouldn't able to see the chat now. I'm just focusing on my screen. Dr. Mira, please assist me if there is anything that maybe need my immediate interaction. If the chat is not working, you just WhatsApp me or anything, any immediate communication.
Sure.
Okay.
I will, inshallah.
Once you are here, you will do several steps. The first step is that to decide where is the video. The second is to decide what are the interactive elements. The third step is actually like optional to me. If you want to do it, or even if you don't want to do it, it's okay. It's just like how to sum up the lesson. Okay. So I will show you the first and then the second, and then we end up the activity and see the result. What is the result? Okay, so the title, say for example, is like my previous that I have presented to during my previous session, which is literature review. Okay, okay, and then with that, the video would be just click there, and then get the URL. Is actually from. The best thing is that you can embed here YouTube link. Other than that, I'm not sure because I haven't got any experience to test with other video providers like Vimeo or others, but it's working well with YouTube. So just get the link from the YouTube. Okay, and then get the link, just copy the link, put that inside. Sorry, there you go, and set. Okay, so once done with that, you have the material, the video presentation.
You today is that this presentation.
Sorry. Okay, so with that, you have the material, which is the video materials of the content, and the content entitled literature review. You want to add the second step, which is interaction. Click on interaction. Okay, so just close this assistant. During the interaction, the interaction enables you to do many things. You can add text in the form of like information, further information. You can add even table, URL. You can add picture inside. You can add question in the form of statement. You can add single, multiple, single choice set. You can add multiple choice inside here, inside here. So how to do that? Say for example, I want to add during minute of 1. Okay, just scroll up to minute of 1. You can see your status here. You are actually a minute of 1. I mean 16 seconds. So I want to add a question here inside. Okay. So if that is the case, click. I want to add multiple, not a single choice set. So once they have decided the location, just click single choice set. You have that in a form of like a button or in the form of like a poster. I would rather choose a button to be display, and then put it like knowledge check. Okay, and then the question would be in multiple single choice set. This is the question text. Question, and then this is the option 1. Option 1 is the correct one. See, alternative, first alternative is the correct one. So option 1 is the correct one. Option 2 is all the wrong alternatives. Okay, you can add another option 3, for instance. Okay, and then done. So save and return, save and display. There you go. So this is the video. When you open the video, and then you arrive to the location, the minute of 1, I just fast forward until I reach a minute of 1.
You know how to read theoretical concepts and put them in your own words for understanding. Include current
Knowledge check
research
appear.
context in
Student,
which your
I mean,
research is
normally
situated.
student will click
This
on
means
knowledge check. A question appear, question text, which option? Okay, 1 is the correct one. I mean, the rest will be the wrong one. When the student click, say for example here, he got it wrong. Okay, and then he can go continue, show solution or retry. So all these options can be customized. You can even hide the show solution or hide retry within the settings inside the activity that I have created earlier. So you can add as many as you want pertaining to the interaction, but to be safe, as what we mentioned during the previous session, Dr. Mira as well as Dr. I think Dr. Shukri, make sure that you chunk your or you divide your lesson into small parts, so it's easily grab or comprehend by the students. Okay, so I just want to show you what is the nature of the complete or almost complete version of the activity when I did it in a form of interactive video. So I have it one with me now. Okay, so this is the video. You see that down here, we have a lot of interactive elements I have added. Okay, so once I play, for instance, right from the beginning.
A literature review is an objective, concise, critical summary of published.
And then fast forward. I reach to a
include relevant theories and concepts.
A location where I add an interactivity inside
ecological environment and human population in that environment, providing models and theories that focus on specific
Student
aspects
can
of
click, you know, what is the definition of theory, what is the definition of concept. This I add text element interactivity.
Introduce and
I
define
move,
relevant
just fast forward to
other researchers
another interactivity element, knowledge check. I pause the video. Okay, the settings can be done inside the activity settings. I show you there are a lot of options inside. So when you pause the video and then you select the video to be paused, it will pause and then ask the student to answer the quiz or pop-up quiz or whatever label that you want to put it here. Knowledge check, and then okay, go to the this is the progress. Down here is the progress. We have 4 questions. I just randomly answer questions, and then this is the last one. It just continue. So three questions. Pardon me. Okay, and then continue. And I go to the another interactivity. This is what? I think this is also picture interactivity. Okay, so this is picture interactivity. Okay.
Entire article
and then this is what? Okay, this is picture interactivity. I can just move on. I add another interactivity back here before the end.
Of related works into a focused review of the literature.
In the form of, I think, drag and drop. So student can just drag and then put it inside. Say for example, just put here random, and then have it check. Well, I'm not a very good student. Sorry, I just randomly put there as an answer and then continue. Okay. So all these interactive elements can be done while you are inside HP4 module utilized in your course. Okay, in your course. You can add quiz. You can add several other elements available under #5P. I think that's a very brief explanation of. You can also learn from the tutorial provided. Okay, once you add, say for example, interactive video, there is a link here to get extra information or tutorials pertaining to this particular tool. Okay, for interactive video. When I click, for example, tutorial, I'll go to the H5P website and have all the information step by step from the first up till the end, how to add interactive video. And that applies also to the rest of other elements inside HP4. You have dialogue cards, quiz, and course presentation, which is very nice, available inside H5P. Okay, so I think I just stop at this moment. Unless if there is any question, I'm more than happy to respond. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Feham.
Yeah.
I'm Maizura from Kuantan. I just want to ask you, what about videos from our desktop and also images from our desktop? Where shall we deposit these photos and videos to be put in?
If you want to utilize H5P, as I mentioned earlier, you have a lot of sub modules inside. If you want to use video, then you might opt to use interactive video for that purpose. If you want to blend, you have pictures, you have video, you have text, you have many other elements. I would suggest that you use course presentation for that purpose. Okay, I'll just show you just a very brief, very simple one I have created using mine. Which is a presentation. Okay, with the similar content. Okay, so this is presentation. It's like one slide after another. You can put here picture. You can put the similar elements that you are able to put inside video interactive. You can click here. You can put here text. You can put here question. This is the first slide. This is the second slide. You can go one by one. We have one question here. Okay, this is extra information, I think. Yeah, it is a question, sorry. Question, okay. And then you can just move till, I think, 2 or 3 questions inside. Similar to like video interactive. So you can go one by one. You can also add here a video. You can upload your video and put it here inside presentation. Okay, you can put link from YouTube as well inside presentation. Okay, so it need quite. You have to sacrifice some of your time for composing these materials and converting this material in presentation form using H5P. Yeah.
So it is not necessary to be online, is it? Yeah, it can be straight away put in the platform.
This is online. I couldn't understand well what do you mean, but you can upload whatever pictures that you have inside here. So, and then it will be made available to our student as a form of asynchronous learning. Student may have access to the materials later, not live.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Feham.
Yeah.
Just Assalamualaikum. Just was one question. Is it anything to do with the copyright, because you somehow alter the original video from YouTube? Is there any possible complication for that?
You can still highlight the copyrights down here. There is an element for copyright. Okay, it's still, referring to the same person. That's one. Number two, you can utilize the policy, fair use policy. You can just search the internet how this fair use policy has been adopted by all, and in particular in the area of academic arena. I think fair use policy has been implemented widely, meaning that you can still use the existing materials, copyright materials, but for academic purposes with no commercial output from it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can add on that, Doctor, because whenever we are not actually altering or changing the actual videos in YouTube is as is, and what we are actually highlighting, I think what we are trying to highlight in this particular lesson is the portions of the video, and it's not really violating the copyright per se, because those who actually access these materials is inside the platform. They need to have access to the platform first. We don't actually put it into public. So means that we are not really trying to publish or republish the material that is already available publicly. We just want to use those portions of the materials. We highlight the portions that we need, and then we allow only certain or particular person or particular groups of people that actually have access to our platform, access the materials. So inshallah, I think as far as what Dr. Which is similar point to what Dr. Feham mentioned earlier, we are not violating any of those issues, inshallah.
Okay, you meaning by that you are enhancing the existing material?
Adding
Yes,
interactivity
our
elements.
Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Feham.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Feham. I would like to ask about whether H5P can be used for summative exam, like final exam.
There is a note written when you want to add the. I mean, if you want to add the H5P module, stating that it's better to use H5P module for what do you call it, formative assessment rather than summative assessment. I think it's been written here somewhere. Due to the code is for those with highly programming skill, it can be. The security feature is not that high, so that it's still vulnerable to attack. So just use it for formative assessment rather than summative assessment. Yeah, it's written here somewhere.
Oh, so if you would like to use other platform, what platform can we use for summative exam? Thanks.
Summative exam is like 2-hour exam or like final exam, pen and pencil. Are you referring to that?
Yes, but we plan to change it to online. We want it to be reliable. Of course we change a little bit the format.
Okay, there are several options. The first option is, of course, to change from summative to formative assessment. To put it in a form of like it's still an assessment, but rather than put it as like a pen and pencil with several hours dedicated for that purpose, you put it in a form of like projects or in the form of like assignments or essay writing or critiques, where it take quite some time for students to perform or to complete and then do the submission online. Yeah, that's one. Another option is that to employ like what we call online examination. Okay, but there are several issues with online examination, in particular the validity, the security, whether the question is the one who opened the system is actually the student himself or maybe someone else. So those are actually some of the issues pertaining to online examination. Unless that you have a very strong system or very strong ecosystem of how you can handle online examination in a valid manner or reliable manner, then maybe we can rely on that. We can go and implement online examination. As of now, I think the validity is still an issue. The security is still an issue. There are several commercial services available pertaining to how to make our examination valid with online monitoring. Okay, so if it is like 3 hours, they will monitor whatever you do on screen using the webcam. Okay, so the monitoring done using the webcam. But I believe that there is a commercial service for that, and the cost is, I'm not sure whether our university can bear with the cost or not. Yeah.
Thank you.
Feham, can you hear me?
Yeah. Dr. Zainuddin.
Oh yeah, Feham, Mira, thank you, Zainuddin and friends. Very good presentation, Mira and Feham. But on the H5P, I
Yeah.
think to some of us it appears a bit technical. So what you did just now was good. It's like you're previewing to us, promoting
I'm
to us.
learning
That's
it.
the good part. The not so good part is this.
Actually, Dr.
The not
Zainul,
so good
I'm
part is
learning it the past 2-3 days.
itulah dia. That's why. So when you preview to us, it becomes your fault. You make us want to know more. So so can we have small session for each function? I think people will appreciate because it's very useful. Tapi when we try to swallow everything, sorry using the word swallow masa bulan puasa ni kan. So it's a bit difficult for us. Boleh tak we have small sessions, very dedicated to one way of doing something. Thank you.
Boleh, insyaAllah. Sure, insyaAllah. I have Dr. Feham with me, so insyaAllah. I'll set up the session. Inshallah, we will have a separate session, perhaps specifically for H5P, maybe in next week or the week after. Let's just settle with the e-learning 2 clinic first, and let me take a deep breath. Has been very intensive these 2 weeks, and then we will arrange the specific session just for H5P. But there's another questions on
sorry,
the chat.
Can I say something?
Sure, Dr. Zainuddin.
Mira, for the sister who's asking about that online assessment, whether it is formative or summative, probably the sister can join the session tomorrow with Dr. Professor Ainul. I think she will be talking about alternative assessment. Probably if you extend the question to Prof. Ainul, you get better elaboration. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Zainuddin, for highlighting that. Yeah, so if anybody have any questions specifically on the assessment and how to figure out what would be another best way to go with summative assessment, tomorrow is the session. We have Prof. Ainul, which will be sharing with us, starting from the planning up to the executions of the assessment itself. Okay, but there was one question on whether the marks, whatever the students have done in H5P, so basically whatever they've done in H5P, because H5P is part of the activity, so those marks is available in the grade as well, in the grade section. So if you have been grading the quiz and whatnot, H5P grades is actually part in as part of your grade activities as well. So let me just, Dr. Feham, do you have any activities that has been graded perhaps?
You want to get the screen, please.
Okay, let me just use my.
Please share your screen.
Okay, sure. So let me just share. Okay, so I'm logging in as a student here. I've created a student account. So me as a student, I have one course called iTa'LeEM 101, and I have H5P here. So say I have these questions on the H5P activities, and then I've answered correctly. So now I would be able to see it in grades. For my H5P activity, I got full grades, and then all of the activities that I have completed, it will be part of the grade report. Okay, so at the end of the semester, if you want to combine this with the summative assessment, you can simply download this as a CSV and then compile together with the final exam or other summative assessment that you have. Okay. So it means that you don't have to key in manually one by one. It is part of the grade in iTa'LeEM. Okay, is there any other questions?
There is a question pertaining to Dr. Mira. Question pertaining to, do I have, if I have one section, I put H5P activity inside, do I have to repeat the similar to the second section for my class? Well, normally my answer is that, well, normally when you do during the beginning of the class, you prepare one single section with all the content. Then you do duplication. We call it like import all the elements to the new section that you might have. If you are in the middle of activity, if you import, I think you can do so, but you have to select what are the activities that actually you want to import. Don't import all, or else it will be duplicated. Okay, inside your new section, because you already have new elements inside. So it can be done through import. You cannot do it using copy and paste. It cannot be done that way. So that will be my response.
Thank you, Dr. Feham. And also these other questions on, can the video that were enhanced in H5P be downloaded? Not that I know of. Dr. Feham perhaps have a different view. As far as I know, this is...
I haven't tried that, but of course, if someone with programming skills, they can do that. But I believe that if it is inside, say for example, inside iTa'LeEM, if it is inside iTa'LeEM and the video is actually yours, you the one who upload the video, it cannot be downloaded from outside. I mean, people from outside iTa'LeEM grid, they wouldn't be able to have access to the video. Only our students and IUM community.
Right, yes. Yeah, because those whatever available in iTa'LeEM in your course, basically, and the students have access to those materials, and you basically just put those videos as file sharing, you allow them to download. Okay, but for H5P, because the actual video is not in H5P, it's actually in YouTube, we just basically refer to that actually. So it's actually implemented as a code rather than as a video per se. So the students will not be able to download the video that we have in H5P and then have it as downloadable activities so they can share the answer with some other students. I don't think this is not the platform where they can do such things. So if you're worried that the video can actually be downloaded and the students share the answer of those quizzes or the stop questions that Dr. Feham had just now, you don't have to worry about that, unless if they're really sharing the answer itself. If they want to share the answer itself, they don't really have to download the video to do that, because there won't be such facilities to have those videos downloaded with the sets of the questions embedded in the video itself. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that, inshallah. Okay, so is there any other questions?
Just a quick option. I just want to add to that. When someone download the video from YouTube, the similar video, it wouldn't come with all the interactivity elements, because the interactivity elements only in iTa'LeEM. So they can download the whole video on YouTube, but only the video itself, not along with the interactivity elements. And another point is that for sharing video using H5P, you can share, get it from YouTube, or you can upload your own video. You have MP4 video, for instance, you want to upload, you can do so. So it can be done in more than one way or another.
Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Yeah, please.
I have two questions.
Yes,
if students have problems with the internet, with low bandwidth, based on my understanding, they can still use iTa'LeEM. But does this include any material related to this video, such as interactive video? And then second, when we create interactive video or any, let's say that PowerPoint slide, can students see what we are doing at that time? We do editing, audio images, and how can we make this video invisible to them?
Dr. Mira, you want to respond to that?
So sorry, my internet was not really stable just now, but
to that. The first
the
is
file, is it?
to,
The file of video?
Yeah, the file sharing of just now.
Video with low
Okay, the
bandwidth.
materials for low bandwidth. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's actually for you yourself decide what you want to share with your students. If you observe that your student with low bandwidth, so you will share with them some of the materials for low bandwidth, maybe audio rather than video, maybe PDF file, maybe PowerPoint file, maybe not video with HD quality. Or if you want to produce video, you have to reduce the quality of the video so that it can be downloaded seamlessly using low bandwidth connection. I mean, you need a tool for converting the video into low bandwidth users for that purpose. The second is pertaining to PowerPoint. If you have PowerPoint and then the PowerPoint is online, when you share the file with your student as a view, view only privilege, they can see the content and then they can see the latest of the content. If you do like editing, after a couple of minutes, they will see the editing, the outcome of the content after the what you did for the editing. They wouldn't see, they wouldn't be able to see all editing buttons appear because the privilege is only for viewing rather than editing. So I will really suggest that make sure if you want to share all the materials online on cloud storage like Google Drive or maybe OneDrive as viewer only rather than as editor. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just want to add on that. If you have such a huge file, okay. So if you have such a huge file and then the video, like for example, 1 gigabyte, it will take a while for the students to download. You either can break them into a few pieces, or you can actually use this software called Handbrake. You can download it for free. It's an open source, and then you can reduce the quality. Not too small for the students to actually won't be able to read the slides, but reasonable enough for the students to still see the slides, and it's not too big in terms of quality or too big in terms of file size for you to upload to iTa'LeEM. So this is one of the tools that you can use. Okay, it's free, so you can easily download from Handbrake.
There is a question here, Dr. Mira. H5P is not captured in blended learning block. Maybe you can look into this as administrator. Maybe you can look into
I will check that because currently we have just activate the plugin, so I still have to tight some loose end, including on the blended part. Yes, I will tight into the blended plugin later on just to make sure this is considered as activity. Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Soraya here. With regard to the 5H5P and the app for course presentation, that Dr. Feham showed, can I just drag and drop from my PowerPoint, or it seems that I have to create my slides from scratch? Is it in the 5HP tool?
Yeah, Dr. Suraya, unfortunately, you cannot do copy, paste, or drag and drop whatever that you have on your desktop to H5P online. It cannot be done that way. You have to upload a single picture of the site. You have to export all the content PowerPoint into pictures and then have the picture uploaded one by one using the upload picture button inside the presentation. Because it's online, it can be done like copy and paste. You are actually interacting with another computer, a server actually online. It's not there on your desktop. So that's why copy paste or drag drop cannot be done using that manner.
Assuming that I'm able to do the whole slide, the whole presentation or course presentation, can this be saved for next year? How do I then take this and block for next year instead of having to go through the process all over again for academic year 2021?
There are many ways for that. The first is that for new academic session, I would really suggest that you do a backup. You have an option for backup. Maybe Dr. Mira can show you. Where the backup for your course content, the whole backup for your course content. Another option is that if you are still using the content coming semester within academic year, not different academic year, you can do import. You can import the content previous semester to this semester, for instance. Whereas if it is different academic year, because as I understand, iTa'LeEM being installed every academic year on a new server. So you have to do backup for that. You have to do backup, you save the backup on your desktop and then upload your backup to the new iTa'LeEM. All the contents will appear accordingly.
Right, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, so just want to highlight, this is the function. Okay, so if it's within the same academic calendar, you can use import. So it will show which course that you want to import to which course. Okay, so there's no need for you to. So for example, I want to import this course to my course. Okay, so this is one of the way. In your case, probably you won't see as many as this. And if it's exactly what Dr. Feham mentioned just now, if it's different academic calendar, you do backup for your course. And in fact, without, so that you always have a full sets of whatever files you have uploaded, even though you're not teaching the same course the following semester, I would recommend you to always backup, okay? So it will download every single item, every single files that you have uploaded to iTa'LeEM. Then it will be kept as one file. They call it MGZ. I can't remember the extension file. So it can only be extracted in Moodle platform. So the following academic year, you can upload to account if you want. Okay, so those functionalities is under administration. Backup for different academic years, import if it's the same academic year. Okay. All right, so I think that would be very extensive for today. Inshallah for H5P, Dr. Zainuddin have highlighted it's not fair for us to cover very briefly today. So inshallah, I will create another session specifically on H5P. And I will invite Dr. Feham again, as well as we do have other Educator 4.0, which probably have used to some other functions on top of the videos. Maybe we can have explore on that particular session as well. So if there's no questions, maybe we can end the session. Is there any other questions? Nope. Okay. Yep. If there's no questions, I would like to thank Dr. Feham. Thank you so much, Dr. Feham. You have been very helpful, mashallah. I really, really appreciate in this difficult time still you with us, you still share your knowledge with us. May Allah bless you with bountiful rewards, blissful life here and hereafter, inshallah. And may Allah give us the barakah of our knowledge. It is difficult time, but whatever we have done, inshallah, will be something that we look forward to see it with multiply benefits in the hereafter, inshallah. May Allah make it easy for all of us, and may Allah bless our family as well. Inshallah, tomorrow session will be focusing on assessment only, so it will not be on tools per se. So if you have any questions on assessment, please do join us tomorrow. And if you have any specific sample assessment, for example, you can also prepare for tomorrow's session. Perhaps we can have Prof. Ainul to have a look on some of the assessment that you have think of having in this time, inshallah. So thank you again, Dr. Feham, and thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Barakallahu fikum jami'an. Jazakumullah khair. Okay, so let's end with tasbih kafara. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Again, jazakumullah khair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay safe, stay healthy.